Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're looking at the T-34-100, and personally I can't use this tank to do anything useful really. I'm sure someone could use it to snipe with maybe, but I think it's just awful. And here's why. First we'll look at the gun, which is the best part of it, and as you can see on the screen, penetration is decent, and from an armor type like this, obviously it's going to do a lot of damage when you pen. I don't think I've ever penned someone and not killed them in one shot, so it's pretty good. But that's about where it ends, because this gun has absolutely no gun depression. If you play more aggressively, you find yourself in more situations where you can't even point your gun at the enemy, where any other tank would be able to. And if you try to play defensively and you try to sit perhaps on top of a hill and snipe at the enemy, you also can't aim your gun down at them. So there's a lot of uses to depressing your gun, but the Soviets don't think so. Next up is the armor, which of course is just awful. It's a T-34 at 6.7. What did you expect? I mean, it's just bad. The turret is better than the average T-34, but even with 90mm of angled armor, it doesn't survive anything. It's just awful. So the only thing that's actually good on this is the fairly decent armor penetration and damage, and perhaps its speed, which is not quick, but definitely not slow. Let's see what this thing is like in an actual game. So you can see here, I'm pulling up, and I pull around the corner and I get shot, and it bounces. I tried replaying that in slow motion to see where I get hit, and I have no idea where it hit me, so he can't have got a very good shot on me. Then I see one of those Swedish rocket car things, and of course he dies in one shot as well, because he's absolutely tiny with no armor. And here's an example of how the gun can actually be quite good from quite a fair distance with one shot, that STRV. However, that's the best game I could get. There's 3 kills, because a lot of the time I'd pull over something and just not be able to point my gun at something, or if I tried to snipe, I could never find a position which was both in cover and had enough angle on the hill downwards for me to actually point my gun at anything. So I'll talk quickly about the history of this thing, and essentially this idea was tested with 3 different guns. The first gun was just awful, and so was the second. The first and second gun were rejected because it caused too much damage to the turret ring, and it also had what is referred to as unacceptable recoil. I don't know what they're expecting putting a 100mm gun inside a T-34, but yeah. The third gun they put in, which is the one that's in game, technically worked. It had much less recoil and actually passed tests, but they're Soviet tests, so I still wouldn't want to be in the turret of this tank when it fired. But when this thing was made, the war was coming to an end, and they had the T-44 chassis, so it obviously made more sense to put a 100mm gun on that rather than on this. As you see here, there's a picture of the T-44-100, and it's clear that there's similarities between the two in terms of turret and weapon. So where does this thing go on the leaderboard? Since this tank isn't fundamentally flawed as a concept for a tank, it has to go above those which are obviously just fundamentally flawed, such as the Maus. However, it's worse than everything else, so it has to go right above the Maus, just below the Command Porsche Tiger. So thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time with what will probably be another War Thunder video. Thank you.